Hello, and welcome to my first Stoneblock 4 showcase episode. Alongside my first talking episode, um, this format's gonna work a little differently than a usual Let's Play. After I make some progress, I'd like to showcase that alongside my thoughts in roughly like a 30 to 45-minute video. Um, in this episode in particular, I'd like to just focus on understanding the mod pack itself and the main goals that it kind of gives us. Um, to start, we'll just go to spawn, because that's kind of where everyone usually starts. And once you get to spawn, you're going to talk to this NPC. And he's kind of just gonna give you some lore. I mean, I can't really. Oh, I can't show you actually. I don't want to play these, but essentially, you have to restore a world engine, and that world engine allows you to delve into more sophisticated mods. Well, these aren't really sophisticated, but like, I don't know, Draconic Evolution or anything kind of later down the tree here. I'm sure there's also more tiers, which is essentially the main quest line here. The getting started is like the prologue quest line. And the prologue is pretty straightforward. Really, all you do is you go up to this little portal up here. Oh, and you'll be coming back to this place a lot because um, these NPCs have shops. And if you're wondering how I'm eating without actually eating, I have a feeding upgrade in a backpack with some eternal steak that I got from a quest reward. Kinda broken in my opinion, but I'm not really gonna argue with that. So you go into the portal here, and it'll ask you to create your world. I'm gonna back away because that's kind of loud. I already made one, obviously, so I'm gonna go to home. And as you can see, it does not look pretty. Like, I've barely done any decoration. But the main reason for that is because whenever I do a mod pack, I always like to go for the storage first. And the problem with this mod pack is you can't really do that, as you really need a world engine upgrade to be able to craft this. Now you may be asking what the world engine is, and you can take this action pack which they give you, or you can bind a key, which mine is the dash. You just click world engine, portal, and then within this portal here, this huge area, I mean, not a lot of this doesn't matter, I've never been over there. But this is like a kind of an energized crafting table where you insert certain things in here and it pops out key mod quest items for you to be able to use. And sometimes it will not work even though I have the exact recipe in there. And it turns out I needed to upgrade this machine. And to get that, you needed, for the first upgrade, you needed the world engine machine blocks. So once you get basically, your basic tools from punching the stone to get pebbles, to get hammers, to get the basic minerals, getting dirt and gravel to be able to get those minerals. And how that works is super easy. You first need a cobblestone. And one thing that trips me up about this mod pack is to make a crafting table, you actually need 4 cobblestone, not wood. That messed me up at the beginning for a while. But all you really have to do, at the beginning anyways, this is like beginning grind stuff. You take a hammer, grind it down into basic materials. Yeah, ignore my inventory sorting in my chest. It is not it at all. But you just take gravel here, you just brush it, give you little chunks. That's what's all in my chests. There's all these chunks, and I've just been too lazy to crafting into like the clusters. You can smelt the clusters. Clusters is how you actually get your ingots. That's how you get the basic materials. And you can automate that process. Reckon I really haven't delved into it that much. I've got the basic stuff set up. You can have villagers do it for you. So if I just this in here, that's the wrong guy. I apologize. Only this guy, the geologist, can do that. Just sit here and kind of just this brush broke. I guess I'll get him. Let's get this one. I'll just give him this brush. They'll mine for you, and then you can just take whatever you got. And you can automate that process by tubes and putting them in a chest, but I haven't done it that much yet. If at all, honestly, because I'm not sure which mod I want to go for transporting items around my base. These guys also level up, which when they level up, they will mine better materials. So instead of coal nuggets, I just get straight coal at this point now. So certain things like that, so they're worth leveling up for sure. I haven't really. I have to level up this guy for this quest line over here. And that's kind of later down the road. But anyways, once you kind of get your materials from brushing, you want to get better hammer to make it go by faster. And then you get your chronon generator, which is crafted like this. And that's just a basic. You did not need to use the world engine for this, but this lets you teleport around the map. Using a command such as /back/home, we'll use these, I don't know, lost cell of the echoes charm things as like the fuel. And I've never had to run out, and I've been spamming them commands, so that doesn't really seem to be an issue for me. And how I got these villagers is right here, this quest line here. So this, essentially this quest line is you getting basic minerals, and then you kind of automating that process. So once you get your generator to teleport, you have to turn zombie villagers into normal villagers. And how you do that, and I think I got a good farm set up for it actually. So you just have to find this healing spring, and you'll get a compass that kind of shows you where everything's at. But basically, you have to get a zombie villager, which I got in here. We're gonna leave that alone. But once you come in here, you can get these villagers. And then you can use, I don't think I have it on me, but there's like this little magnifying glass. Yeah, this echo encoder. And you can right click them to just pick them up, and they'll turn into like a little coin. And that's how you get them. For some reason, this little healing spring biome just turns them into villagers, which is kind of cool. And you also needed these amethyst shards. So that's basically the beginning of this mod pack, is just kind of understanding how to get the basic minerals. And then once you kind of get that process done with, you move on to actually getting into upgrading the world engine. And the first thing you'd have to do is talk to each of those guys and spawn. It's about, I have them marked on my map, but once you complete main quests, the main quests are the gear icons. The square icons are just normal quests. So every time you get a gear icon quest, you have to talk to the NPC correspondent to the quest. And the way you can unlock unlock these is just by doing the getting started quest. I think once you do this, all three of them will unlock for you. Talking to these guys is going to be done much with that. Go to the quartermaster. Once you get your basic materials and you go to talk to these guys, they're going to tell you exactly how to upgrade your world engine. And this is where it can get a little confusing, because if you don't really understand or have played modded Minecraft, it's going to be a little confusing in terms of there's a lot of ways to go about one thing. So I wanted to get steel. You need steel essentially for casings here. These train casings. And this quest is basically what you're going to want to focus on, because it forces you to make a smeltery. And that's kind of the first mod pack you're going to get into, is getting your ores smelted. And this seems just like, honestly, like a knockoff Tinker's Construct. So this one wasn't too hard for me to really understand. You just put your ores in. It will, see if I can show. Yeah, you can either just plop them in, like chuck them in, or put them in the controller. And in the controller, you can mix your fluids. So whatever's on the top, that next ore is going to combine with it. So I have brass. I've honestly forgot how I make brass. Copper and zinc. So you would just throw copper and zinc in here. Make sure it's on the top up here, and it'll combine that into the brass. The brass you use for a lot of things in the beginning stages, such as making these casings. The mod pack essentially wants you to start mixing ores together to create different ones. Now, the obsidian plates is probably the most confusing part in this quest line, because when you click on it, it asks you for molten obsidian. So you're like, okay, so how do you get it to be a plate? Well, you need the plate cast. Okay, how do you get the cast? You need molten steel. How do you get molten steel? Now, you would think it's molten carbon and iron for smelting steel. But I learned that you can make steel dust. And to make steel dust, you need to make a metallurgic infuser, which is what I have over here. So now you kind of have to just forget about this mod and then start over here working on the metallurgic infuser so that you can make steel, so that you can then make the casings, so that then you can start making actual block casings here. Because the crafting menu to make the basic one, yeah, those casings, you need like an, actually I'll just show you. First you need an oak log, piece of brass, which I don't have brass, but I do have these andesite alloys, which is essentially the same process. So take a log down, and right click it, and then you'll take those plates that were mentioned before, but I can't find those. Right click this, and it'll make you a casing, and then you have to upgrade the casing into a train casing, which you can make by reinforcing a brass casing with the obsidian plates. And this is how you upgrade your world engine, or one step closer to doing that. And then you have to make the shadow steel. The shadow steel is done yet, so this is what I'm going to do next. I haven't made dark steel yet, which I think I needed the world engine upgrade to do this from this quest line that I completed here. So once I made those casings, I've kind of been locked here. Meet the quartermaster. Then you have to make those metal infusers. And then once you make those infusers, which you also have to make a generator. And this is where your options come into play. You have a variety of different mods that offer different types of power. So the issue for me is figuring out which one is actually beneficial. I've done the basic coal generator, and this thing is better than the magmator. The magmator eats lava. This thing, I put 16 buckets in, and it couldn't even cook me a stack of steel. So clearly there must be something wrong with it. I have it upgraded to the basic one, and it just doesn't really perform well compared to this basic coal generator right here. So this coal generator is all I have for power at the moment. And then once you make those metals, I'll show you what kind of metals. So the plate. You make the steel in the diffuser. With those ingots, you throw them back in here to make steel. And plates that we needed. And then once we did that, use some different things with redstone and coal to get these parts. Then have to make the world engine machine blocks. And that's where these come into play. And once you put these in, spit out these world engine machine blocks. And now you may be asking me, so where did they go? So the cool thing about this mod pack is apparently the engine is very confusing, which it definitely looks confusing. But all you really have to do is they give you an option to submit your blocks, and they will automatically build it, and it'll give you like a cutscene, which I'll probably use that for my thumbnail. But it just does it for you. It's these little blocks that have the plus sign. So that's the first upgrade. And what I've been trying to do since then is focus on making my storage not look like absolute shit. So I've just barely started it, because to make the Service Quartz crystals, you need the budding Service Quartz, and you needed the World Engine upgrade for this. There is a way to see what the upgrades do. However, I forgot how to... It's very odd. I'll have to figure that out later. But yeah, it'll tell you what mods you unlock, essentially. And I didn't know that at the beginning. So there was a lot of me trying to do this first, without knowing that I needed to do this stuff first. So there's a lot of things you can't do at the beginning, which is a little frustrating. But that's kind of the point of the mod pack. So whatever. I'm gonna go back to my base and just kind of show you around a little bit too now. What the purpose of everything is for. So these train casings I have here are for the quest down here that I haven't finished yet. My smelter, which you've already seen. The metal infusers. Applied Energistics charger to charge these crystals. Get into digital storage. I showed you guys the villagers that brush minerals for you and seeds and saplings. Very bare bones. However, there is a mod, I think it's called Frames. This frame and it adds a bunch of cool looking templates to use for blocks. And you just, I assume, right click the block you want it to be after you place the frames down. So I will be definitely looking into that to spruce this place up a bit. This is my XP obelisk. It just stores my XP for me, which I will store some now. I have level 35 levels worth of XP. Oh, here, this is going to be my farm area. I kind of want it to be a woodsy area, so I have like leaves here. I'm not sure what to do with the walls yet. I might have water flowing down. In the next showcase, this is going to look a lot better. It is very bare bones and kind of depressing. Oh, this is where my animals are at. I have chickens. This mod has a chicken, or this mod pack has like a chicken mod, which is honestly, the UI is just a nightmare. Only because if you want to craft, say, a diamond chicken, it is one of those chain recipes that just makes you want to not want to do it. So for the diamond chicken, you need a class and a gold chicken. To make a gold chicken, you need a yellow chicken and an iron chicken. To make a yellow chicken, I'm not sure what that means. Usually there's a different way. Oh, that's right, you have to dye the egg yellow, throw it, and hope a yellow chicken spawns. So you keep going down this list here. Iron, bone, so this is kind of where I got bone chicken. I couldn't make the tiers of seeds because I needed world engine, and I didn't have the upgrades, so I had to stop there with this. And then I moved on to my cows. So if anybody knows what to do with the fluid, that'd be great. Because originally, when I was gonna make steel, I was just gonna mix the carbon and the iron to get steel. But I have the buckets, and it wouldn't let me put it in the smelter. I tried to right click the control with the bucket. I tried to empty the bucket on top of the smelter, and it did not work. So I had to go the other route. But I have basically almost every basic one you can get with a clavel. And the clavel here is how you convert a normal cow into a random fluid cow. I have just about every kind. I have nickel, silver, gold, carbon, redstone, slime. That's interesting. Osmium, I only have one though. Copper, tin, lead, and zinc. I have these set up because the babies kept jumping up these fences for some reason. They might jump up from here, but I haven't had that happen yet. So, yeah, if anybody knows how to kind of use these guys efficiently to turn their actual fluids into blocks or ingots, that would be fantastic. To move this. And that's honestly all I have so far. I kind of speed ran down here because I have a staff of traveling. Just from the Ender Ioma. I've been getting these from completing quests as rewards. And they give you anchors, which if you just right click, you'll automatically teleport to the anchor you set down. These anchors here. And this is the mob grinder, which is very bad. I'm going to show you. That's about it. So next time you see an episode, this stuff for the most part will be done. Oh yeah, this is the bounty board. This is how you can earn money repeatably. It does have a timer, so you can't just constantly farm it, but kind of gives you a direction of what to kill. This is exploring. So since you're surrounded by stone, it has rings. This is the first light ring. This is the gray ring. There's multiple rings. There's like a nether ring and end ring. Farther you go. So this just kind of some exploration tips. Which the staff of traveling is a way to travel, so that makes sense. It's in there. This is all your combat and armor mods, early game weapons, middle game weapons, end game weapons. I'm sure it's dog shit, but I really wanted to make this revolver from immersive engineering, so I'll probably end up doing that too at some point. The immersive engineering mod once I get the storage thing ready and settled. Looks like some extra enchanting. That looks cool. A lot of enchanting. New resource generating the chickens, cows, replication. This is apparently like the OP mod. We can just kind of change, say, like 100 iron ingots into 2 diamonds. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I assume that's kind of what it's going for. Which I'm not too big of a fan of, but we'll see. So yeah, this is going to be your resource management. And then this is the automation for items, which I still haven't delved into, as you can tell. Magic. I haven't touched any magic related thing yet because I've never touched magic mods before, and they've always seemed daunting and confusing, but I'm sure I can get the hang of it if I just kind of, section it down. The storage, showed that already kind of. I'm trying to go for this one, which is the longest tree. And this just has some extra useful items that help you in the mod. The obelisk, which I got from a reward. I haven't looked into this too much either. And then you have Forgotten Technology, so this is all the tech mods, such as the Metalwork Foundry, Actually Edition, Vendor IO, a modular force field system, which sounds pretty neat. And the Immersive Engineering mod. This is what I'm going to go for once I kind of get my inventory and storage all figured out. You have Mechanism. I'm not too sure. I know it just infuses metals for now. Ortec, I have no clue about this mod, but I don't know how to. The stations, they look cool. They look modded well, so I might use those just for fun. And then Draconic Evolution Classic mod, Broken OP mod, Endgame mod. Won't touch this for a while. And yeah, that's basically the whole mod pack. Again, next time we'll have a lot more going on here, but I kind of wanted to just give an introduction on what to expect from the showcase episodes going forward. And I hope you've enjoyed. If you have any suggestions or tips, that'd be cool. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, gamers.